And so I think that what the peace education program does is that it just creates that question in their mind, which is, when will this violence end and when will the peace begin?
We have more in common than what divides us, and we will live in peace.
My experience of doing the peace education program gave me reassurance that I can make a difference to the world around me every time I come from the loving space within my heart and engender choose peace.
Peace is an important ingredient in our lives that enables us to live on. It makes us able to steer our lives in the right direction.
Because what happens is a lot of the time people say, yeah, okay, but have they really changed? Because this was made 4 years ago. And in fact, the second video you saw was made last year for them to say, yes, this is working. He thanks everybody.
Good afternoon and welcome to our first virtual event, an introduction to Peace Partners. I'm Emma Payne and I will be your MC today. I've been working with Peace Partners for just under a year, and I was introduced to the founder of the charity, Julie Hammersley, at one of our fundraising events. I was so pleased to meet her, and I've wanted to work for a charity like this for many years. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Peace Partners before I hand you over to the speakers. We are a registered UK charity made up entirely of volunteers. Our team are committed to meeting the fundamental human needs of clean air and water, nutritious food, and individual peace. Our aim is to raise public awareness, improve knowledge and expertise, and develop sustainable solutions to these global challenges. To fulfill our aims, we work with individuals, groups, and organizations that share this vision. In particular, we partner with and support the unique, innovative programs of the Prem Rawat Foundation, such as the Peace Education Program and the Food for People program. Peace Partners was set up by Julie Hammersley and 2 other founding trustees and received its charitable status in April 2016, just over 4 years ago. It had become very clear that there was an opportunity and a huge interest in the UK to establish a charity which would support and raise awareness of the Prem Rawat Foundation and their programs. It's been a wonderful journey for Julie and the team, building connections and strong partnerships, bringing financial support during times of humanitarian crisis, and making such a difference to the lives of many across the UK and the world. So today we have 11 speakers lined up for you who will present various aspects of our work. There will be a PowerPoint presentation with videos, and this should last around an hour and a half. In the middle, there'll be a 5-minute comfort break for you, and towards the end of the second half, there'll be a short question and answer session. So if you have any questions as we go along, please submit them into the Q&A box displayed on your screen, and they will be put to the relevant speaker. We only have a few minutes for the Q&A session at the end, and if your question isn't addressed today, the team will respond by email in the coming few days. And if you lose your connection at any point, your internet connection, you can rejoin the webinar by clicking on the link we sent to you. So there's lots to get through today, and I am now delighted to introduce to you our special guest speaker, Marci Klein from the Prem Rawat Foundation.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that little glitch. I'm not sure if you can see me, but I'm going to start. So here we go. Hold on a minute. Okay, I am honored to be representing the Prem Rawat Foundation on this call. As Emma said, my name is Marci Klein, and I am the Prem Rawat Foundation's Development Director. To begin, I would like to thank the Peace Partners Board of Directors and supporters for the great work they're doing to help people in the UK and around the world. It's been inspiring for me to have witnessed the evolution of Peace Partners from an idea to the champion of peace that they have become. Congratulations on the well-deserved recognition you are receiving. To give an introduction to the Prem Rawat Foundation, which is also referred to as TPRF, begins with an introduction to its founder, Prem Rawat. In 2001, Prem founded TPRF, a nonprofit 501c3 foundation, which addresses the fundamental needs of food, water, and peace. His vision inspired the foundation's 2 signature programs, the Peace Education Program and Food for People. The foundation also sponsors eye clinics in India and has provided grants to partner organizations in over 40 countries. Food for People has developed model food kitchens to provide nutritious meals and hygiene education to poverty-stricken communities in India, Nepal, and Ghana. So far, 5 million healthy meals have been served to children and ailing adults. As a result, health has improved, school enrollment and achievement has skyrocketed, crime has dropped, and local economies have started to thrive. The Peace Education Program is an innovative series of video-based workshops that help people discover their own inner strength and personal peace through the exploration of 10 themes such as peace, inner strength, and self-awareness. Last year, over 36,000 people participated in peace education workshops in 39 countries. So now on to 2020. What a year. No, right? The entire world has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and the Prem Rawat Foundation is no exception. But as a virtual organization, we have been able to pivot quickly, finding ways to continue helping people. The management team and volunteers have actually worked harder than ever this year because the needs are so much greater. In March and April, TPRF made grants to several NGOs by awarding $270,000 to support the people who were infected by COVID-19 in several countries overwhelmed by the rapid spread of the virus. And then in early April, a devastating cyclone hit Fiji and surrounding islands. TPRF awarded $45,000 to partner organizations to help in recovery efforts. The Peace Education has discontinued group meetings for now. But over the past few months, the course has been facilitated virtually in more than 20 countries, including the United Kingdom. The virtual programs have had the added benefit of allowing many people previously unable to attend a workshop to participate. We anticipate that the popularity of virtual courses will continue after restrictions are lifted. For now, Food for People has discontinued serving meals at the facilities, but each facility is delivering food to those unable to feed their families to the extent allowed by government regulations. I told you a lot about TPRF, but how does what I told you translate into lives transformed? Here's one of my favorite stories of how the foundation has made a difference. Years ago, after witnessing the death of some gang members and having attended peace education workshops, a group of young people who had joined a Bloods gang in Ibarra, Ecuador, began to rethink their lives. They initiated a peace contract with a rival gang and literally put down their weapons in favor of participating in community improvement projects. And then they formed a new organization called Street, Peace, and Respect, and transformed into a force for good. One of the group's leaders, Christian I have trouble saying this name every time. Christian Ubidia said, "I think if we hadn't heard Prem Rawat's message, the worst would have happened. We would have continued killing each other and stealing. That's where I was headed." These ex-gang members have become positive role models in their community, receiving praise from the mayor and regional leaders. They have represented peace education workshops at local schools and have produced their own programs on National Public Radio Ecuador to inspire youth across the country to follow their example. Responding to the current food shortages, members of Street, Peace, and Respect have been working with a local NGO funded by TPRF to arrange food deliveries to hundreds of homes in Alpachaca. This project is now expanding to include the construction of community seed banks and gardens where local residents can learn how to raise essential foods themselves. TPRF received many words of thanks from people helped by these efforts, and here are two. From project manager Paul Murtha, TPRF support is invigorating lives at both ends. People were running out of food. It's crucial aid at a crucial time. Thank you to the TPRF donors across the world who are making this possible. Thank you with all of my heart that you have come to my house to give us a hand in this situation, said a mother who received food to feed her family. I have 3 handicapped people here, and we do not have work. Thank you to all who are helping. So in closing, I'd like to acknowledge that the world is now a global community. What happens in UK has ripple effects in countries around the world and vice versa. Peace Partners has contributed to every single thing I spoke about today through its funding for and awareness of TPRF and the Peace Education Program. By itself, each organization is making a difference. Together, we are multiplying that difference each day. On behalf of the Prem Rawat Foundation, I offer great appreciation from the Board of Directors and staff to Peace Partners for choosing the Prem Rawat Foundation as one of its partners. Thank you all so much for listening. And now we'll hear from Chrissy White.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can. We've got a little technical glitch here by the looks of it. I'm hoping that my video is going to come on in a minute. Thank you so much, Marci, for that insight into the wonderful work of the Prem Rawat Foundation, TPRF, and its unique initiative, the Peace Education Programme, And I could give many examples, as Marci has, about the transformative effect this has on people who attend the PEP. But today, actually, I'm going to just be talking about Peace Partners' role within the peace education program in this country. It looks like I can start my video, so just bear with me for a minute. Thank you. Okay, so yes, there's an awful lot more to find out about the Prem Rawat Foundation and the Peace Education Program, and you can do that by going to our website, which team members will tell you about later on in the webinar. I'm going to be talking about the Peace Education Program for communities in the UK, but we will be watching a very short introductory video now, just to give you a little flavour of it. It's called Helping People Discover Peace. So video, please. Thank you.
Everyone can benefit from the Peace Education Program.
Happiness has nothing to do with what you have and don't have. Happiness is when you are in touch with yourself.
Prem Rawat finds a way to explain to us, you don't have to feel what's going on up here, you have to feel what's going on in here.
Do you know you?
I have done the Peace Education Program and I've gained knowledge about my inner self, and it's amazing to know who you are.
Peace education is teaching us how to understand ourselves.
The content is important, but the reflections, in my view, are equally important.
Prem Rawat actually encourages all of us to see the gifts that we have and to acknowledge everything that is within us.
When I say peace, I mean the peace that exists in the heart of every human being. The possibility is about you being content and you being in that peace.
There's something about the Peace Education Program that connects you to something deeper and also provides accountability and choice and responsibility for your own life, and I think it's really empowering.
Okay, so thank you. Yes, as I said, there's plenty more videos on the TPRF website, which you can find out about from our Peace Partners website, including sample workshops, so you can actually experience one of the workshops from the Peace Education Program. But now I'm going to talk about Peace Partners' role. And so Peace Partners helps in the UK, helps with the Peace Education Program in the UK through promotion, support, hosting, and facilitator preparation. I prefer to call it that rather than training. So next slide, please. Thank you. So promotion, where do we promote the Peace Education Program? So at events such as this, usually in a live setting rather than a virtual one, at Peace Partners forums, which you'll find out a little bit more about later on, at Peace Partners fundraising events where there's usually inspiring videos and speakers to talk about the program, and at Peace Partners events to celebrate peace one day in September. And we had a wonderful event last year in September, and quite a few people from that event are now attending our ongoing virtual peace education program. So next slide, please. So support, we can offer support if people wish it. People can go on to the TPRF website and everything is on there that's needed. TPRF can guide you through. You can find out about the program. You can decide if it's something you'd like to put on. You can decide if it's something that would suit your organization or your group. And you don't need to come to Peace Partners at all. But there are many people who actually like a little bit of help, maybe a bit of guidance, maybe some signposting to find out how to set up one, how to run a program in this country. So we have provided a guide, a written guide, and that's on our website. We can provide promotion for groups or organisations who are going to host the programme themselves. We can work in collaboration with groups and organisations. And that photo that we're looking at the moment, that's one example of last year, where we worked with St Mungo's Recovery College in London. And we worked together with the staff who run that college. And we can offer financial help. We received lottery funding last year for the Peace Education Programme, and Pauline will talk about that a bit more later on. So materials, all materials are free from TPRF, but if you need help with them, or if you'd like us to lend you some, that might be possible. And then teams, as I've mentioned in this picture, in this photo, although this organisation was going to run the education programme themselves, they decided actually they didn't really have the manpower. So we're lucky that we have links with people who are experienced at facilitating the programme. And so we worked collaboratively in that way. So next slide, please. Thank you. And here's some of the participants along with staff and our wonderful facilitators enjoying the end of the course, receiving their certificates. So hosting, yes, sometimes we will host the programme ourselves as peace partners, and sometimes we'll host it on behalf of organisations or collaboratively, as I've already said. And at the moment we're running one virtually, and we're using the Zoom platform, and it's wonderful, and it's just such a wonderful experience to witness that transformation that can happen with students and the expressions, as somebody said in the video at the very beginning about this, that the expressions is just so important, and people feel safe, people feel comfortable to express really their really deepest, innermost feelings and what the course will bring out in relation to those 10 topics. Thank you. Next slide. And training. I put the heading training because that's what most people refer to, but there isn't really any formal training. It's not necessary. If people feel comfortable to put on the course, then that's fantastic. Some people like a little bit of help, some people like a bit of confidence building, and some people just might like some preparation or some practice. So we're realizing that's probably quite an important thing to be able to offer, and we're looking to be able to do some more of that this year. So people wanting to help with peace education programs, maybe be part of a team. There's quite a lot behind the scenes really that needs to be done. There's a lot of organisation, etc. So sometimes people like to come along and experience the program for themselves and get an idea of what it's about, and then decide to help. And technical teams, which are very important at the moment with the virtual programs, and that's taken quite a lot of work from our current AV team, and because of that they've actually put a guide together which is available for you if you'd like that. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you for your time, and I hope this overview has helped you to see how Peace Partners as a charity is in a unique position to support TPRF's Peace Education Programme in the UK. And if you're interested in anything I've covered, you'd like to request support or just more information in any way about the Peace Education Programme, please get in touch with us. And Becca will talk about ways of contacting us later on, and also the email address will be put up for you. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening, as I've already said. And now let's welcome Caitlin Peterson, who will talk about peace and humanitarian projects.
Hi everybody, thank you Chrissy. My name is Caitlin and I'm the Marketing Manager for Peace Partners here in the UK. And I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the things that we've been doing for the last 6 months. Like many organisations, the global events of this year have changed how we're engaging with our community. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to host many of our planned fundraising and peace events, or as Chrissy mentioned earlier, conduct our face-to-face peace education programs. As a team, we spent the first half of this year working really hard to support our partners, engage with our community of followers, and provide a platform for our message beyond face-to-face events. We recognised very early on that coronavirus was going to have a really significant impact on vulnerable communities, not only here in the United Kingdom, but also across the world. In response, we partnered with 3 prominent charities and we managed to raise over £5,000 in support of these communities. We started in March with 3 separate multi-channel marketing campaigns that ran over 6 weeks, which aside from raising the mentioned funds, have enabled us to share the valuable work of our partners. For these programs, we chose to partner with the Trussell Trust, whose coronavirus response plans assisted food banks across the United Kingdom to address the economic and, of course, food insecurity impacts of the virus. We also partnered with St Mungo's, who Chrissy mentioned earlier, who are one of our partners. We worked with them to develop, to support rather, a multifaceted approach to sheltering UK rough sleepers during the virus. This program also provided much needed care and support to these communities and continue to after coronavirus. We also, of course, partnered with the Prem Rawat Foundation, whose grants continue to provide life-saving care to vulnerable groups around the world and who are still suffering under the impacts of COVID-19. Next slide, please. Okay, so aside from raising funds and supporting the response efforts of our partners, it's been really important for us to share our message of personal peace and help our community focus on positivity and, of course, their personal well-being during these times. Let's Focus on Positivity and Wellbeing is a 4-week social media marketing campaign that we ran throughout May and June to achieve this objective. Through blogs, creative expression, and the sharing of ideas, this campaign focused on the positive side of life, new beginnings and lightness, even when everything in the world seemed that little bit dark. Each of the weeks of the campaign had a specific focus area, being the power of love and kindness. Our environment is thriving right now, feeling peace during the lockdown, and as well as gratitude, appreciation, and the silver lining. All of which highlighted stories and ideas that helped to detract from the negative narrative of coronavirus, and we hope brought some positivity and personal peace to the forefront for our community. Next slide, please. We believe that creativity and peace are intrinsically linked. Creative expression enables us as people to share and experience peace beyond ourselves. In May, we started 2 initiatives to highlight the impact of peace on creativity and, of course, creativity on peace. Firstly, the needs of children can often be overlooked in times of difficulty and turmoil. As such, peace and well-being needs of children have been a really big focus for us this year and will continue to be a focus for us this year, particularly as the virus does not seem to be going away. As an extension of the Peace and Wellbeing campaign, we developed a Peace Through Creativity outlet for our supporters. This is most likely the first of many of these sorts of programs. Launched over the spring holiday, the Peace Through Creativity booklet encouraged children to give, and their caregivers, to explore 4 fun activities that would enable inner peace and wellbeing, and really focused on those core focus areas mentioned earlier. Secondly, developed by our creative writing team, Writings for Peace is a regular blog series that reflects peace through creative writing, specifically poetry and prose from around the world. Our aim is to provide a safe space for compassion, empathy, and insight into our shared want for personal peace and peaceful society. As humans, we often turn to verse and prose during periods of uncertainty and turmoil, but also when we're celebrating and we have times of honour. Curated by our creative team, this blog series showcases work from familiar names as well as new and emerging voices of today. And you'll hear a little bit more about Writings for Peace and Poetry for Prose from our lead creative writer, Sean, later in the webinar. Next slide, please. Finally, one of the most exciting projects that we've been working on over the past couple of months is the development of our new website and the refresh of our visual branding. You're all getting a sneak peek of that branding through this webinar today. And we are excited to formally share this new look website and brand direction in the coming weeks. So please keep an eye out for the launch in your inbox and, of course, across our social media channels, which Becca will touch on later in the presentation. Thank you. That's all from me. Thanks so much for listening. And now please welcome Julie Hammersley, who will be speaking to you all about Food for People.
Oh, thank you, Caitlin. Wonderful initiatives. Lovely to hear. Thank you. Yes, so I just wanted to go back to the Food for People project that Marci Klein mentioned. And yeah, I had the opportunity to visit and see the facilities in action when I went to India and Nepal a few years back. It was just amazing to see the impact on the children who are now no longer going hungry, that they can eat one hot, nutritious meal each and every day in their own cuisine. And the benefits have been many. Children go to school with a full stomach so they can learn more. And some of the children are going on to higher education, which had not happened before. Schools in the area have had to expand because more children are able to attend, as they don't need to work in the fields and other areas. And the children are shown basic hygiene skills, just simple things, washing hands before going in to eat their meals. But the children have actually taken this back into their own homes, and some of their families have taken these on board themselves. And this has resulted in better health for the whole community. The facilities, they open early in the morning, and the children, they come from far and wide, from the fields, from their homes. Some come with their siblings, some on their own or with friends. But one thing is very obvious. They are very focused on eating. And you can just see how much it means to them. It's their place. They really own it. It's a safe place, a place where they can eat a lovely hot meal and drink clean water. And when their plate is empty, they can go for more. The facilities are run by people from the local area, and these projects have benefited the whole community. They are also used during times of natural disaster. For example, after the Nepal earthquake, people could take shelter there. Food was provided, and a new water system has been put in place. The facilities are expanding their reach, taking the food to more inaccessible places and homes, and it's really having such an impact on all of those who are in need. Such an amazing project, making a difference to so many people, and a project which is very close to my heart. So now we are just going to watch a video, and this is the facility which had just been set up in Ghana, West Africa. So enjoy. Thank you for listening.
Today is a very important day in our lives because we have been enrolled on the Food for People program.
Actually, this is our first time of joining this program, and I'm very excited. This food is very nice and delicious, and I'm very happy that our school has been enrolled into this program, and I hope that this food will help our kids perform well in the school.
The food is very nice, and the place is very beautiful.
I'm very happy to come here and eat. When I come here, I was happy, and the food was so sweet. The food was tasty, but I feel good. When I ate it, I feel good.
I'm so excited that we are part of this program. Thank you very much.
We are so happy. The children are excited, the teachers are excited, the food is delicious. We are so happy. God bless food for people.
Thank you for giving us the food. Thank you.
So such appreciation for the Food for People. So I'm just going to hand over to Pauline Cook now, who's going to be talking about finances. So thank you, Pauline.
Thanks, Julie. That was really inspiring, lovely to watch. So yes, I'm Pauline Cook, and I look after the Peace Partners finances. And I'd like to talk today about where our money comes from and a little bit about how it's being used. So slide, please. Well, like most charities, Peace Partner relies on donations from our supporters. And we have a fairly small but very engaged, enthusiastic and committed group of supporters. Some people who make regular donations and others occasionally support us or in different campaigns. It's all really welcome, small or large amounts, no limits. A convenient way to donate is online through our website, we have a donate page, and that's a picture of it on the screen, a bit small to see. But by donating through here, you can use credit or debit cards, you can use PayPal, or you can have a direct debit set up from your bank account. And if you visit the donate page on the website, you'll see that there's a few different buttons and you can choose where you want your money to go. You can support a particular campaign, for example, like Food for People, or you can leave it to us to use the funds where we see the need is the greatest. And if anybody prefers to give in other ways, for example, with cheque or a bank transfer, that's fine too. And you can email us and we'll tell you how to do it. The last bullet point is fundraising events. Over the years, we've put on several of these, and it can be a great way to raise money quickly and is usually good fun. Wendy, our event manager, will talk about some of the fundraising events that we've done a little bit later. So next slide, please. This slide is about gift aid, and this is a scheme that's pretty much unique to the UK. It applies to donations made to UK charities by anyone who's a UK taxpayer. Under this scheme, charities can claim back the tax that those donors paid on the money that they're giving. The basic tax rate here is 20%. So as an example, if a basic rate taxpayer earns £100, they only get to keep £80 of it, and £20 goes in tax. But if they then give that £80 to a charity, the taxman will actually pay back to the charity the £20 tax that was taken. So for taxpayers, the gift aid scheme adds 25% to the value of what they're donating. If you want to know more about gift aid, there's quite a good explanation on our website. Last year, we reclaimed more than £2,000 from the taxman, so it is really valuable to us. Next slide, please. So grants and awards, this is another source of income for us, but it's fairly new. It was only last year when we really started to look for grant-paying bodies that might want to support what we do. Our first application was to the National Lottery Awards for All Fund, and Chrissy mentioned it earlier. We were successful. We received £9,900, in fact, which is to be used for promotion and delivery of peace education in England. So that's been really amazing in helping to get more peace education programmes going. And then Movement for Good. Movement for Good was something that came up last month, and it was run by an insurance company called Ecclesiastical Insurance. And they were offering relatively small awards of £1,000 to 500 small charities. And the charities who wanted to apply had to ask their supporters to nominate them online. And the 500 charities with the most nominations would win a £1,000 award. As I said, this came up last month and we were a bit late in finding out about it. We didn't have very much time, just 4 days in fact, to apply and to ask our supporters to go online and nominate us. But through an amazing team effort, within that 4 days, we managed to do just that, and we won. There are over 13,600 charities that applied for this, and we were among the 500 winners who had the top number of nominations. And I think that's a real testament to the commitment of our supporters. So great big thank you to everyone who nominated us and made us a winner. But also I think a round of applause for the amazing effort made by our volunteer team, who acted so quickly to make the application and put the word out. So next slide, please. This last slide of mine shows how we used our funding. These are based on last year's figures. The biggest slice of the pie, that big blue slice, went for overseas aid. And this is where we passed funds to TPRF for their humanitarian work, which we heard about from Marci and Julie. Quite a few of our donors specify that they want their donations to be used that way. And we always pass on the money plus any gift aid in full. But the next biggest slice of the pie, the yellow, shows what we spent putting on events. And events are a large part of what we do. They allow peace partners to engage with people face to face in different communities. You'll hear a lot more about our events from Wendy in a little while. The dark orange slice, that shows the support we gave to people who were running peace education programs in the UK. Chrissy mentioned that we can help with some of the costs, and last year we supported quite a few programs around the country. The white slice, that's our running costs, what we have to spend as an organisation to keep everything going. Our organisation costs are pretty low, pretty small, because everyone at Peace Partners is a volunteer. We don't have premises or equipment, we all work from home. And finally, the small grey slice, that shows what we spent on publicity. As we're experimenting with finding ways to reach new audiences through paid advertising. And that's something that we're still thinking about and may do more of in the future. So that's a very quick summary of how we used our money last year. And that concludes what I have to say. So thank you for your attention. And I'd like now to hand over to Emma, who's going to talk about our partnerships.
Hello, thank you, Pauline, for that insight into our funding streams and financial outcomes. So now I will give you a summary of some of our engagement with partner activities to kind of demonstrate how we work with different organisations. So next slide, please. So you'll see there a broad range of organisations that we have partnered with to date. So we endorse working with partners who embrace quite a broad scope of approaches to peace. So this can be bridging different demographics and specialisms, including sport, creative flourishing, thinking also about issues related to humanitarianism, homelessness, and the environment. And also thinking geographically, so we maintain links with both the UK and overseas charities that support the developing world. So now I'll give you a brief insight into some recent initiatives and activities that we would like to highlight in order to kind of build on with new and existing partners in the future. So next slide, please. So firstly, looking at Young People Insight. Going back the last kind of year or two, in 2019, we held a Finding Peace Through Conflict Resolution event in Croydon, which is in Greater London. So this was actually a collaborative event with the Tutu Foundation's project around the Ubuntu Roundtable. So this was focused on a facilitation of dialogue between members of the police and local communities to help understand and improve their relationships. So I think this was really a productive and inspiring event for the local community. Looking at Peacecast TV. So in the same year, we actually held a further event where we were instrumental in making Croydon a peace town. So this was through the signing of the Brussels Declaration Pledge to Peace. So the Pledge to Peace is coordinated by an Italian non-profit organisation who are committed to bringing the topic of peace to the forefront of public discussion. This event was actually televised on a live stream with Peacecast TV and viewed around the world. So we were really fortunate to receive comments about the significance of this show from places as far as Tasmania and the US. Next, looking at our relationship with Mayors for Peace. So we're currently engaging with them at the moment. They are a multilateral initiative committed to mayoral stakeholders from around the world. So they focus on recognition of the need to contribute to the attainment of lasting world peace through promotion of the total abolition of nuclear weapons. And this is mechanised through close solidarity among the member states within the organisation. So we're working on them in collaborating on the delivery of the Peace Education Programme, which you've already heard about. And this aligns with one of their 2020 vision strands. So some of us are actually collaborating on an upcoming webinar with Mayor for Peace. So this will be a brilliant opportunity for us to strengthen our links moving forward. And then finally, we're currently working on an initiative to raise funds from corporations and businesses for the work that we do via our partner Invest in Peace. So the aim of this work is to work across boundaries, connecting individuals, commercial organisations and non-for-profit groups to create projects that are sustainable. So we will keep you posted on this on our new forthcoming website. So if you'd like to partner with us, then please see our website for more details on how your organisation can get in touch, and we'll be happy to provide further information through provision of our comprehensive partnership pack. So thank you for your time. So now I will hand you back to our MC before a short 5-minute break.
Thank you, Emma. I hope you enjoyed our event so far. And as Emma said, we now look forward to welcoming you back at 10 to 6, 17:50. Enjoy your break. Thank you.
So I think that what the peace education program does is that it just creates that question in their mind, which is, when will this violence end and when will the peace begin?
We have more in common than what divides us, and we will live in peace.
My experience of doing the peace education program gave me reassurance that I can make a difference to the world around me every time I come from the loving space within my heart and engender choose peace.
Peace is an important ingredient in our lives that enables us to live on. It makes us able to steer our lives in the right direction.
What happens is a lot of the time people say, yeah, okay, but have they really changed? Because this was made 4 years ago. And in fact, the second video you saw was made last year for them to say, yes, this is working. He thanks everybody.
Welcome back, everyone. Next, I'd like to introduce to you our volunteer coordinator, Karis Crook. She'll give you a short talk about the team and explain how you can get involved and volunteer with us if you'd like to. So over to you, Karis.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Emma. Sorry, everybody, just having a little problem starting my video, but we shall continue anyway. So I would just like, there we go. There I am. That's better. So yes, as Emma said, I'm the volunteer coordinator here of this wonderful charity. I'd like to just spend some time talking about how you can become involved with the charity and the types of qualities that we look for with our volunteers. Next, please. So, reasons to volunteer. We are continuously seeking skilled and enthusiastic volunteers to help us to move forward with our projects and reach our ambitious goals. This is a very exciting time to join us and be able to use your skills and experience to make a real difference in the lives of so many people worldwide. So why would you like to volunteer with us? Well, you could be an agent for change through donating your professional skills. You could be challenged and you would get a satisfaction from accomplishment. We do set tasks. However, they are providing training and we are always providing support. You may decide to try out a set position to align with career exploration. So then in the future, you might decide to take that up in the form of paid employment. We always provide personal development and you will always be part of our remote team. We have many individuals involved. We have a team of around 25 in total, and we are always involved remotely. Next slide, please. So what do we offer our volunteers? We offer a very warm welcome to the team. So your initial stage would be a brief interview and discussion with myself and our founder, Julie. And then we would send a welcome email to you with our introduction pack for you to read, which you'll then confirm receipt of, and we will then welcome you to our team. We use IT facilities such as Slack and Trello to keep in contact with all of our volunteers on an ongoing basis. We always provide meaningful work to do, and we always appreciate and thank our volunteers for the tasks that they have undertaken. You can work with us on completely flexible hours. So you will agree to provide certain tasks. However, the hours that you provide and work for us will always be flexible, as we understand this is a volunteer position and you may have childcare or other paid work to fit around us. We can also provide a reference when requested to confirm the work and the dates that you have worked for us. Next slide, please. So what do we seek for in a volunteer? Obviously, we would like somebody who understands and supports our mission and the work that we undertake. We would like you to be enthusiastic about the many projects that we have just spent time explaining. We would like you to be reliable and dependable, to deliver on what you promise that you will do, and to always act respectfully and ethically. That's with each other and on all forms of social media. A list of all of our current opportunities can be found on our Peace Partners website. So if there are any volunteer opportunities, please do have a look and contact us if you would like to be involved. Positions are also advertised through Reach website. So you can have a look at Reach, which explains opportunities in much more detail. Please do contact us and we would be very happy to have a conversation with you about these opportunities. Next slide, please. I will now hand over to Wendy Martin, who will discuss more about the events that we run as a charity. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Wendy Martin, so thanks, Keris. And I'm the events manager for Peace Partners. And I'm just going to give you a brief overview as to the different events that the charity hosts and has hosted over the last few years, some of which have been touched on a little bit by earlier speakers. So next slide, please. Putting on these events takes a tremendous amount of effort, and planning and preparation can go on for weeks or months beforehand. And all the valuable skills and expertise of the Peace Partners volunteers are vital in their success. So I'll now go through each of these different types of events one by one. Next slide, please. Starting with local outreach events, which Peace Partners has been hosting together with volunteers in towns and cities all around the country to raise awareness about the work of Peace Partners. And so far they've been held in Bristol, Oxford, Cornwall, the West Midlands and Reigate. And one was due to take place in Newcastle in March this year, but was postponed because of the lockdown. And in fact, that's what inspired this webinar today. Next slide, please. So the Waves of Change forums are the principal set pieces in terms of events, and they aim not only to raise awareness on current issues, but also to offer meaningful solutions, such as the TPRF Peace Education Programme. And with engaging and thought-provoking discussions led by inspiring keynote speakers, they explore present-day themes and offer solutions to issues that matter. And each event has a different focus and can include film screenings, performances, and opportunities for attendees to network and collaborate with others who are passionate about finding peaceful solutions to their community's challenges. Next slide, please. The first Waves of Change event that happened was the Peace and Sustainability Forum, which explored the relationship between the environment and the individual and how experiencing peace in one's life can raise awareness and consciousness about our need to protect the environment and our planet. Next slide. So over the following 2 years, Peace Partners focused its efforts in various communities in South London, developing connections with a wide range of local organisations involved with young people, gang culture and vulnerable adults. And this effort culminated in the Peace, Gangs and Conflict Resolution Forum in June 2018, which raised awareness of the issues and context surrounding gang violence in the UK. And it was attended by an audience of professionals who support local young people at risk. And the keynote address was given by Pastor Mimi Asher, who works intensively with youths in her community as a result of her son becoming involved with a gang. Next slide. As has been mentioned, last year, the Waves of Change Forum joined with the United Nations International Peace Day celebrations with its event Practice Peace. And a wide range of inspiring guest speakers shared the work they do in partnership with communities and organisations in and around South London. And there were also performers and poets, singers and special Peace Day activities. And as mentioned, the exciting thing about this event was that it was broadcast live all around the world by Peacecast TV and watched by people on every continent. Next slide. Also, as Emma mentioned earlier, as part of the World Peace Day celebrations, Croydon signed the Pledge to Peace. And it was signed by, amongst others, the Deputy Mayor of Croydon, the Principal of Coulston Sixth Form College, and the Imam of Croydon. Next slide. So Peace Partners also offers workshops like the Finding Peace Through Conflict Resolution seminar, which it hosted in association with the Youth Futures Ubuntu Roundtables project. And this provided the opportunity for young people, community workers, and various local organisations to come together collaboratively in an effort to establish peace in their lives, but also in the lives of those they work with. And this collective, insightful and thought-provoking event included a keynote address by Shanika Benjamin, the founder of Youth Insights. And there were also workshops by the Peace Education Programme team and Bedrock Books. Next slide, please. So the other events Peace Partners puts on are film screenings. And Inside Peace is a multi-award-winning film which follows the journey of inmates in a Texas prison as they persevere in living a life of peace. And the inaugural screening of this film took place in the Mayfair Hotel in London to a full audience who were enraptured by it. And the documentary was followed by a lively and enthusiastic Q&A session with an eminent panel. Next slide, please. In May 2019, Peace Partners screened the award-winning documentary Peace is Inevitable, about the 2 warring gangs in Ecuador, which we heard about earlier from Marci, and it was really good to hear an update on how they've been getting on since that film was made. This incredibly inspiring film was attended by documentary makers Simon Edwards and Marianne Mass-Oliver, who spoke about their experience of making this film. And they also talked with one of the members of the Bloods gang via live link, which we just saw a little snippet of in the video. Next slide, please. Finally, Peace Partners hosts fundraising gala benefits, and in November 2017, a gala dinner was held at Denby's Wine Estate in support of TPRF's flagship programmes, including Food for People and the Peace Education Programme. A very generous £10,000 was raised to support these TPRF initiatives. Next slide, please. Last but not least, the most recent fundraising effort was a tea party held in North Somerset at the end of last year. It was great fun and raised a fantastic £2,500 for Food for People. So in conclusion, for my part, it's very inspiring to see the volunteers of Peace Partners and all the guest speakers and activists who all give their time freely to help others to support the cause for peace. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'll now hand over to Becca Barber, who's going to speak about how you can keep in touch with Peace Partners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Wendy, for telling us all about the amazing and varied events that we do here at Peace Partners. I am Becca. I'm the social media promotions assistant here at Peace Partners. And recently, due to our continued growth and expansion this year, we've had more of a focus on the digital aspects of our charity. Charities in general have not achieved as much of a digital transformation as businesses due to what our funding needs to be prioritized on. But we're looking to change that, and we welcome this new challenge. It's because of this we've worked hard to get this webinar online and have been able to reach out and connect with all of you. To keep the virtual network going, you can find us on our website, as Caitlin discussed earlier, and also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We've had our main focus on Facebook and Twitter, where we've been sharing our latest Let's Focus on Positivity and Wellbeing campaign with a different theme for each week. It's also where we advertise this webinar to reach a wider audience beyond our emailing list. We are working to utilize what Instagram has to offer soon and analyzing how the last campaign went and what kinds of innovations we can make to make our use of social media more successful and effective and just have a further reach so we can continue to help people. We have our amazing monthly e-bulletin offering you key Peace Partners updates, testimonials, poems, podcasts, and even more. You can subscribe to it and to be emailed to you each month, but you can also find the archives of all the previous e-bulletins for each month on our website. To stay up to date with what we're doing, we'd love it if you would sign up to our e-bulletin, like our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/peacepartners.co.uk, follow our Twitter account at peacepartners_, or our Instagram account, peace_partners. You can also email us to find out more about any of our work at info@peacepartners.co.uk. We look forward to hearing from you in the future and to the exciting developments Peace Partners has to come. Now, let's give a warm welcome to Sean Morrissey, who will tell you all about Poetry for Peace. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Becca. I'm just going to say a few words about an exciting new addition to the new Peace Partners website, which is what we're calling the Writing for Peace project. And as Caitlin mentioned earlier, this project is meant to reflect the humanitarian ethos of Peace Partners. And it's our hope to provide a living directory of poetry and prose for our guests to explore and to find a space for comfort, inspiration, and hope. We intend to showcase work from familiar names and those also overlooked by history. And we also plan to include many of today's new and exciting voices. The Writing for Peace will feature regular curated entries by our team, as well as sporadic solicited material from our allied partners. Writing for Peace does not adhere and will never adhere to strict stylistic guidelines, and will be comprised of short fiction, creative nonfiction, philosophy, and of course, poetry. We intend to host writing from around the globe and from various moments in history up to and certainly including our present time. The hope is that by showcasing this diverse array of writing, we might highlight the universalities of our human condition. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to one of our esteemed trustees, Kathy Miller, for a brief question and answer session.
Hi, hello. Sorry about that. Slight technical hitch. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to Sean. There have been several questions, and there's been some really good ones. And we've just got a few minutes just now, so please don't worry if your question hasn't been answered today. What we'll do is email you, and hopefully, if you have any further questions, if you contact info@peacepartners.co.uk, be very happy to help. One question that has come up is, are there any planned events with Prem Rawat at the moment? And the answer to that is, at the current time, there aren't. But if you want to look on www.wopg.org, you'll find information there as any events are announced in future. Another question that has come up is about the training for the Peace Education programme and those running it. At the moment, there is a virtual peace education programme taking place, and there's a strong possibility in the future that there will be support, that there will be support for anybody who is wanting to know and see and try out what it's like with a peace education program. So to answer that question, there will be some technical help available via Zoom. Oh, sorry, excuse me. That's really most of the questions that have come up. Arts for Giving, run by Sandy Damon, has got a competition going. If you look at the Arts for Giving site, there's a children's writing competition that's been set up, and Arts for Giving have worked in collaboration with Celebrate Life and with Peace Partners in the past. I'm just checking as we have some new questions come in. Somebody's just asking about the Peace Education Programme, which Chrissy, perhaps you'd just like to say a little bit more, Chrissy, about starting a Peace Education Programme. Is that okay? So over to Chrissy Waite to ask her.
Hi, Kathy, thank you. Yes, I'm just having a little look at the questions here. And it's actually very amazing. We've got people from other parts of the world taking part or in the audience here for this webinar today. So I just need to clarify that Peace Partners is a UK charity, and we can help with the Peace Education Programme within the UK. So could you just repeat the question, please, Kathy? Sorry, I was looking at the other questions.
No, a question just came in about a little bit more information about the Peace Education Programme.
Okay, so it depends what people would like to know, really. So I think the best thing is if you could specify your query, the person that sent that question in, if you could specify your query and send it via email, and that will be up on the screen if you didn't get it earlier. And then we can look at it and answer your questions specifically. So our plans, if you'd like to know what our plans are, yes, as I've said, we're currently running one which is full. We are now starting to prepare for another one, another virtual peace education program. And we are starting to think about virtual training, because it's actually a little bit different to facilitate the program online than it is in a one-to-one, in a real life situation. So some people feel that they'd like the practice with doing that. So we are thinking about setting that up, and we've got some ideas in place at the moment. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, just send us an email and we'll be in touch with you.
Thank you very much, Chrissy, that's great. Okay, we're now going to watch a short video with words, sorry, I beg your pardon, with words by Prem Rawat called Singular in Nature. Thank you.
Do you know what it means to be singular in nature? It defies nature itself, because nature says there can be nothing singular in nature. That's like having a one-sided coin. That would be very difficult to have, wouldn't it? In this world, there is so much duality, 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 duality. And then, to have something in your life that is singular in nature. That divinity inside each human being is singular in nature. It has no opposite. It is one thing and only one thing, and it is beautiful. It is fulfilling. It has no emptiness. It is the light that does not cast shadows. It is that light that has no darkness associated with it. It is singular in nature. It gives it absorbs, it fulfills, and it is beautiful always.
And that concludes our introduction to Peace Partners today. We hope you found the event enjoyable, inspiring, and informative. Just to let you know, this webinar has been recorded and will be screened again in a few weeks for those unable to attend today. A link to the recording will also be available for anyone who wishes to introduce Peace Partners to friends or colleagues. This will be sent out by email to those who've attended today, and it will also be available on our website in a few days. So thank you everyone so much for attending, and we hope you found it useful, but please do get in touch if you would like any more information. Our email address again is info@peacepartners.co.uk, or visit our website at peacepartners.co.uk. Take care and have a lovely evening. Goodbye.